I got freaking goosebumps right now. Just chills. Like, oh, no.
That would be by far worse than the mannequin house. That would be absolutely fucking terrifying.
I would be running back to the mannequin house.
Just to get some shelter.
Yeah, just like, and like the mannequins would walk up and like, what are you, wait, you want to be here? He's standing out there, but he's not human.
Jeez. I couldn't even imagine seeing something like that for real. That would fuck me up on such a psychological level. I don't know that I would ever recover from. That would do some psychological scarring.
Oh, fuck yeah. I'm jumping off that cliff.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of Shadows and Sightings, a paranormal comedy podcast where we talk about all things spooky. I'm Taylor.
I'm Nick.
And this week we're bringing to you part 3 of our Appalachian Trail series. Too much stuff to cover in just 2 episodes. This is our very first multi-part, but our very first 3-part episode.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite thing to talk about the Appalachian Trail so far, Nick?
I think it's going to be, we haven't talked about it yet.
Ooh.
I like aliens.
Little spoiler alert.
I like creepy, spooky UFOs and things like that. I'm really excited for you to talk about the black-eyed children.
Oh yeah, not to be confused with the black-eyed peas.
No. Although to be fair, that would be just as terrifying. I
wouldn't be shocked to see Fergie on a liminal space on the trail.
Yeah.
Trying to bum a ride into town.
Yeah. Like,
wouldn't surprise me.
You know what? If there was anywhere that you would be, it would be here.
It's right here at the water gap.
Right here in the middle of bumfuck, middle of nowhere, Kentucky.
Yeah.
You know?
The Appalachian Trail doesn't even go through Kentucky. Why are you here?
Doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I did like speaking the weird mannequin thing.
The mannequin house has to be one of my favorite things so far.
That was pretty weird. Also terrifying, but quite comical at the same time.
It would genuinely make me probably shit my pants on the trail if I seen it. But at the same time, a simultaneous shit and giggle, as it were.
Yeah, a shiggle.
Because I would be terrified of the mannequins moving and coming out and getting me. But at the same time, I would just have to laugh at the comedy of just how inexplicably random that house is.
Right, how bizarre, to experience that. Because you can't make it up.
You can't. At least I would hope not.
You can't walk to your coworkers and be like, have you ever been fondled by a mannequin? I have, and then have them look at you and believe.
Nick, it's 9:00 on Monday. Man,
it's like I
can't process this right now. I'm just let me get my coffee first.
It's like, well, when can you process? Because you can't process it on Wednesdays. You never process it on Fridays.
That would be a hell of a water cooler conversation to have on a Monday morning. Hey, did you catch the game last week? No, I was being fondled by a mannequin.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to walk away now and not talk to you again. Bye.
I think I'm actually going to report you to HR. But
yeah, no, I'm pretty excited about today's episode and what we're going to be talking about as far as aliens.
Yeah, we got plenty more spooky stuff to cover on this Appalachian Trail journey. This should be our final episode on the Appalachian Trail. Of course, if you guys like this content, we have no problems revisiting the Appalachian Trail again because, as we mentioned in the last 2 episodes, there is no shortage of crazy things that happen on the Appalachian Trail. I think it covers from A to Z every paranormal thing you could think of.
Yeah, because it's such a vast...
It's a vast expanse of land.
Because you got to think, when we say like the Appalachian Trail, like literally we're talking about like the Appalachian Trail, but like it's not just the Appalachian Trail.
It's like the Appalachian Mountain Range.
Everything.
But I mean, we're trying to stick close enough to like the Appalachian Trail in general. Just that 2,000-mile trail from Georgia to Maine.
But it's hard not to talk about Appalachia because it's all kind of integrated,
You don't get the name Appalachian Trail without being integrated into Appalachia.
Yeah,
But first, as you guys know, we like to have our Cryptid Corner News Week portion to start the episode. So, Nick, what do you have this week
So Shia LaBeouf got in a fight in Mardi Gras.
He sure did. Shia LaBeouf has gone into cryptid status for me at this point.
Yeah. I thought it was like a joke, but then I kind of stepped back and I was like,
oh yeah, it's Shia LaBeouf, so that makes a lot of sense. I completely
understand. Yeah, that is.
And then I seen a video. Obviously, I follow Mardi Gras. I like to watch the parades and stuff when they're live. But you see fan videos, they're like taking pictures with him and shit after, like 24 hours after he got out of jail. He's back on Bourbon Street just hanging out with fans and taking pictures and stuff. It's like, this guy not 24 hours ago beat the shit out of somebody.
I think he's going to get charged some pretty serious charges. The two counts of aggravated assault. Because he walked into the bar and started berating, from what I understand, berating this employee and physically started throwing punches at the guy. So the dude fought back, but then apparently he left and came back and proceeded to fight him again, and then somehow ended up out in the street.
Classic LaBeouf.
Yeah. Oh my.
There's no way that's the same person that starred in Holes in 2002.
I'm more than convinced that there has to be some mental stuff. Could be wrong.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still like him.
Yeah.
I like.
I can't speak on him either way. I mean, Holes is really the only thing and Transformers, I think, are the only things I've really ever watched him in.
There's never been a Shia LaBeouf movie that I haven't seen that I truly appreciated or that I didn't appreciate. I liked him in Fury. That was pretty cool.
Never seen it.
You should watch it. It's good.
I guess after Transformers, I think he just kind of fell off the map to me.
I wouldn't not watch Fury based off of his influence in it. It's like Brad Pitt and all these other people that are in it.
Right. It's not a Shia LaBeouf movie.
Yeah, no,
it's an everybody else movie, but he's also
in it. You know, it's more or less them. But
is it like how the Christian Bale Batman movies were never about Christian Bale as Batman? It was always about the villains playing the roles better than he did. Nobody watches The Dark Knight for Christian Bale as Batman. They watch it for Heath Ledger as Joker.
Yeah. I mean, he was in it, but he's not the main. I think it's more about the relationship between Brad Pitt's character and the kid. There's a kid who signs up and joins the army. And he's 18, 19, and he's put in as a tank gunner, and he gets assigned to the squad that's Brad Pitt, Shia LaBeouf, Michael Pena's in it, and the guy that played Punisher.
Oh, John Bernthal?
Yeah, he's in it. It's the five of them.
John Bernthal's coming back, man. He's in that new Netflix show, His and Hers or something.
I don't think he ever left.
I never knew him outside of Walking Dead and Daredevil, or The Punisher. I don't remember him being in anything else.
He was in The Accountant with Ben Affleck.
Oh, yeah. I've seen trailers for that. I never watched it.
He's the brother.
Yeah.
He plays. He's a method actor, so he plays in any role that he plays in. It's balls to the wall. This is how
it's all or nothing.
It's all or nothing. There was an interview for Wolf on Wall Street. There's a scene where he slaps Jonah Hill's character, and they're filming it, and he starts pacing back and forth, gets into character. And the director's like, you better get out there and say your lines, and I don't know what's going to happen, but basically I prepare for what's going to happen. And Bernthal just walks up and just slaps the shit out of him.
Jonah Hill probably deserved it.
I wouldn't be surprised. He was trying to talk to the director, and he's coming. But cryptid news this week.
Well, before you do that, I want to remind everybody, go follow us on social media. Shadows and Sightings, a paranormal podcast on Facebook, Shadows and Sightings pod on Instagram, or send us an email, shadowsandsightings@gmail.com. Just want to get our socials out there. That way you can interact with us, drop us comments, send us an email, drop us a line, whatever you want to hear us talk about, and just in case you don't get to the end of this episode.
Yeah, let us know, for real, because we're always open to feedback. We're always open to listening to your experiences.
New stories, new topics.
New cryptids.
Yeah.
Maybe you invented a cryptid. Maybe
you've seen a cryptid.
Maybe you are a cryptid listening to this podcast about cryptids.
Hell yeah, that would be awesome.
Mothman, are you out there? Are you listening to this right
now? If Mothman's listening to this podcast right now, I would be starstruck.
Yeah, I'd appreciate it.
But yeah, speaking of appreciation, we would appreciate your feedback. Leave us a 5-star review on whatever platform you're listening to. Boost us in the algorithms. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell the cryptid and paranormal enthusiast in your life. But with all that being said, on with the show. Nick, Cryptid Corner Curiosities this week. Of course, it doesn't always have to be a cryptid thing. No. This is just Nick's weird topics that he finds.
So apparently a U.S. congressman has claimed that a massive secret UFO is hiding in plain sight, purposeful built structure. United States Congressman Eric Burleson of Missouri claims a massive secret UFO is hiding in plain sight inside of a modified structure. He also claims that guards protect this secret facility like it's some sort of commodity. Burleson claims the UFO is so massive that it cannot be moved, which is why they had to construct an entire building around it. As for where this building is, he would not or cannot disclose the location. So I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, apparently, if you go on Google Maps, if you look up the news article, they have these screenshots of what this building supposedly looks like, and it's essentially just a giant circular UFO. So I'm going to assume that it's a giant like mothership kind of thing.
That's interesting, but it's a permanent fixture?
Yeah, because apparently it either crashed or it landed there, but it's so massive that they couldn't transport it. But they didn't want the public to know about it, so they were like, okay, what's the next best thing? Why don't we just build a building around it and try to play it off like it's some structure, like a government facility or something like that.
That's a good idea.
I guess.
I don't like to give the government credit, but that's a pretty good idea.
It didn't say in the article where the location is, but if the photos that they shared in the article are supposedly where this location is, it's like a screenshot of Google Maps. And you can see it looks like Korean wording. You know, like when you look up at Google Maps,
yeah,
you'll see things around and it gives you the description of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like basically that in the screenshot, but Korean letters. So I'm going to assume it's probably somewhere in Korea. You know, I can't disclose. Yeah. I can't disclose the location, but you know, Seoul, Korea. But yeah, it looks like a giant structure. Now, I don't know how legit it actually is, but it made the news. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, a lot of UFO stuff turning up. It seems like these days, more information.
This supposedly is going to be the age or the era of full disclosure. So
sure it is.
You know, I don't know.
I totally believe it.
I mean, at this point, honestly though, like what would legitimately, if you think about it, what would happen if they fully disclosed, yeah, like aliens are real?
I don't think anybody would freak out like they would have back in the early stages of UFO sightings.
Well, that was the whole thing about Project Blue Book when they did the investigation into UFOs from I forget the time frame, where they investigated UFO sightings from like the 40s to the 60s or whatever, however many years. But that was one of the reasons why Congress was, hey, you know, we shouldn't disclose this. And at the time, they were like, it's going to be a national security issue.
It's going to be a mass panic.
It'll cause mass panic. You know, like the economy will topple, like the whole world. Yeah, it was like some pretty apocalyptic shit. They were like, if we tell people we're not, you know, aliens are real, prepare for the worst kind of thing.
Now I just feel like there's so much other shit going on. Like, I don't think it would register on most people's radar. They'd be like, yeah, I already knew.
There's other shit. I agree. I think most people would probably be like, yeah, no shit.
With the rise of social media and everybody just being able to share everything all the time.
Yeah, they're like, is it really? No fucking way. Yeah.
Well, I, for one, am truly shocked that the government has been keeping this from us.
It's like, I cannot fathom the depths that they would go to keep this from me. You know, like it's just not right.
I feel like the only thing that would start is like, okay, what else are they keeping from us?
Yeah, exactly.
Newsflash, buddy, everything. They're never going to tell you the full truth about anything.
What's the saying? Give them an inch, they try, or
give them an inch, they take a mile.
Take a mile, kind of thing. Yeah, it's exactly what this would be like. Oh, okay. But how many aliens are there? All right, guys.
How many aliens do you have captive right now at Area 51?
Tell me. I want the full deets.
We should have just stormed Area 51 years ago like they planned.
Right? all the what was it? All the Kyles and the
Chads.
The Chads and the Kyles.
Yeah. Did you ever watch that documentary? I think it was on Netflix about storming Area 51. It's one of those
the train wreck things.
Train wreck series, yeah.
I didn't.
And the guy that organized it just did it as a meme, but then it gained so much traction that he had to get legal.
Yeah, it's like, fuck, all right, yeah.
Yeah. And then they was planning on doing a big music fest instead, and he was like, actually, I'm going to drop out of this too.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it was a whole thing. It was crazy.
I did see either yesterday or the day before another article of there used to be this YouTuber who used to hike around different places in the U.S. And I can't, I literally glanced over the article, but we're just going to say his name was Chad or whatever. And he had a following, on YouTube. He supposedly had found a cave not too far from Area 51. And he filmed himself going into the cave and exploring it, but then he ends up going missing. And he's been missing for the last 14 years.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's like a missing case at this point. And people believe that he went and he probably found something that he shouldn't have found, or something got him. So
that would not be surprising.
There is a movie, a found footage movie of it. Some dude is trying to basically break into Area 51, and he. It shows him buying all the equipment and shit, and now how he gets past the heat sensors. He's they got heat sensor cameras and stuff. He buys this suit that circulates coolant.
Okay.
Through his whole through this bodysuit, and it basically hides him from the heat seeking the radar.
All right.
So he just literally just climbs over the fence, and he's running, and they can't fucking see me, and yeah, it's one of those found footage things where he just keeps going deeper and deeper into Area 51. Then, of course, shit hits the fan.
Gets to the aliens.
Yeah, and they're locked up and break out.
That sounds fun. No. That sounds like a fun movie.
It was. I love aliens, so I.
You know what it was called?
I'm sure I could find it. It's just found footage Area 51.
That should be like a Shadows and Sightings movie watch along night.
Oh, that'd be cool. You ever do a movie reviews?
Yeah.
What's the Science Mystery Theater?
Oh yeah, Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah, Shadows and Sightings version of it.
We'll just put it up on our TV, and you'll see the back of our heads.
Yeah.
As we're just riffing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That'd be fun. That would be a fun if we ever start a Patreon, maybe we'll do something like that,
a side project kind of thing.
If that's something anybody out there would like to experience, let us know. Again, Shadows and Sightings, a paranormal podcast on Facebook. Yeah. Shadows and Sightings pod on Instagram. shadowsandsightings@gmail.com.
What about you, buddy? What'd you find? Any interesting news story, noticias?
Nothing too crazy. Apparently, there's a Team USA hockey star, Quinn Hughes, who kind of became a paranormal meme during the 2026 Winter Olympics.
I did see something about. I vaguely saw something. What was that?
Fans noticed that Hughes frequently stared into total voids during games with an eerie, vacant expression. Apparently, a couple of days ago, he leaned into the joke after a post-game interview, saying that, as the people say, I'm usually seeing ghosts, so I'm usually focused on myself. So I guess people have dubbed him the paranormal playmaker of the Team USA hockey team. So That's kind of fun.
Yeah, neat.
There was a Reddit story that gained some traction on February 18th. A homeowner reported a daytime encounter of a residual entity. While smoking in their side yard, the user looked through a glass door and saw an older man in a red flannel shirt sitting in the recliner. The figure made eye contact, nodded, and then simply evaporated when the homeowner entered the room.
Nope.
Longtime residents of the neighborhood later confirmed the description matched a previous owner who had passed away in that exact spot in the 1970s. So there you go. A little spooky ghost story today. From
a little creepy.
Little Pep just sitting there in his
My question, what was he smoking?
Doesn't say what they were smoking. It could have just been a cigarette in the side yard. Maybe they were smoking some reefer, but
crystal meth.
And some hallucinogenics. Make them see things.
Maybe it was a combination of everything.
Could have been.
A big old stooge with all sorts of...
A little bit of angel dust mixed in.
All sorts of sinful things inside. Some mushrooms, some cinnamon, a little bit of turmeric.
What is this, a juice cleanse? little lemon juice.
Some DMT.
Apple cider vinegar in there.
And some oatmeal for fiber. But, no, that's pretty cool. That's one of those, classic ghost stories.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just good old-fashioned vanilla ghost story.
blink and you miss it kind of story.
Yeah, he's like, he
just looked in the right time at the right place.
And boom, it was gone.
Pretty cool that the neighbors could corroborate it, or
corroborate.
They could tell the person, yeah, we remember that guy. That's Old Man Withers that used to live here. Always wore the same red flannel every single day. Loved to sit in his reclining chair. Weird that they kept that reclining chair that long, though. I will say that.
Yeah.
Unless it's a different recliner that they just put in the same spot by chance.
Could have been, yeah. Like an updated lazy boy.
Like a heated seat.
Oh, yeah.
Electric recliner.
Oh, I wouldn't leave either.
Have a little.
Look up all
that would be really funny if the ghost comes back. He's like, where's my recliner at? What the hell's this thing?
And he sits down and then he won't leave.
Oh.
Massages and like,
look at this. This is a power recliner. Oh,
real nice. Oh my gosh.
This lumbar support's crazy.
2026. What a year to be dead. You know? No, that's pretty cool though. Interesting stuff.
Absolutely. So if you have any cryptid encounters, ghost stories, or anything like that, again, drop us a line, let us know, and we will feature your story on our Cryptid Corners. I think that's what we're going to stick with. I think we're going to go with Cryptid Corner.
I think Cryptid Corner is cool.
Yeah. Again, it doesn't have to be anything cryptid related. It's just anything paranormal happening in your life, and we'll feature you. If you want us to say your name on the podcast, we will. If you want to stay anonymous, we can do that too. So
I like Cryptid Corner.
Cryptid Corner.
That works. I think Lurk approves.
Lurking in the shadows. Speaking of Lurk, we do have merch available. Go to printful.com and search Shadows and Sightings, and you can find your Shadows and Sightings merch, t-shirts, hoodies. We're going to work on getting other stuff up there, but for now, just grab yourself a t-shirt. Show your podcast pride. All right, well, without any further ado, let's dive into this week's installment of the Appalachian Trail Mystery Theater.
Part 3.
So we talked ghost stories in the first episode. We talked feral people and a couple of the urban legends out on the trail in Part 2. This week we're talking vanishings, alien encounters, and pretty much just anything else that we've left up until this point off the table. Other spooky things like just time lapses, mimics, all that good stuff.
Awful stuff.
But very interesting stuff.
Oh, of course. Without a doubt. You know, awful is a good thing in this case, but... Yeah.
Awful in a good way, not like a prolapsed anus.
Yeah, you know, that's... Just kill me. just kill me. Like, if I look into the future and they're like, what's your cause of death? And it's a prolapsed anus. Like, no, you guys got that wrong.
You got that wrong. It's actually going to be...
It's actually, I'm jumping off the roof.
It's actually a bullet to brain.
It's like, it's you know, that's just awful. Oh, my God. No, I will literally down 30 pounds of cheese right now.
Just death by cheese.
Death by cheese before going out by prolapsed anus. Like, that is no.
Maybe all the cheese is what prolapsed your anus, and then you still.
And then you die from prolapsed anus.
Yeah.
Like, it's a full circle. Like,
yeah. It's like, yeah.
Those movies where you try to prevent the
like
future.
a monkey's paw scenario.
Yeah. Like, no, it was the cheese. But yeah, in all seriousness, for today, we're going to talk about some aliens. You know, for those of you who tuned into last week's episode and the week before, there's kind of this reoccurring theme of what makes the Appalachian Trail such a hot spot for paranormal activity, just creepy encounters, things like that. And of course, one of the things that keeps popping up is extreme isolation. So, you know, as Taylor mentioned earlier in the episode, the Appalachian Trail runs about 2,190 miles from Georgia to Maine, or Maine to Georgia from whichever direction you're coming.
Northbound or southbound?
Cutting through some of the most remote wilderness in the eastern United States. Long stretches of isolation, dense forests, very, very minimal light pollution. It becomes a hotspot not just for ghost stories, cryptid encounters, but also for UFO and alien encounters as well. Some sections, especially, you know, Virginia, West Virginia, and Maine, are miles from the nearest road. So hikers report strange lights in the sky. You know, Taylor last week talked about the strange lights at Brown Mountain. Silent hovering craft, missing time experiences is pretty.
Yeah, the time lapses are pretty interesting.
Time lapse is pretty trippy. And of course, electronic malfunctions. You know, people reporting that their GPS, you know, starts going on the fritz. Their headlamps and lights start like flickering in and out.
Watches are being screwed with.
Yeah, like there's basically any of their electronics just start going haywire and they're not functioning properly. The low light pollution also is it's good for seeing, satellites, things in the sky. I can imagine, you probably get some pretty crazy views of the Milky Way out when it's like pitch dark and you just see like everything.
Especially when you're up on like a summit of one of the mountains. Oh, yeah.
It'd be pretty cool to experience, but many sightings in all actuality, they're probably satellites or military craft. For anybody familiar with the UFO lore, UFO culture, not everything we see in the sky can be easily explained. It's quite common that the trail will pass through sections of military and government facilities, military land, that kind of thing. You're not too far from Fort Ritchie, but also Site R.
Mm-hmm.
And the trail's, pretty close to there. So Site R being, the military facility that it is.
A not so secret government.
Yeah, right. It's actually pretty awful. Like everybody knows who's like, oh, Site R, it's right there. For it not being,
I don't really truly know what Site R is or what they do there, but I know that it's there, and I know it's a secret, quote unquote, secret government facility. But I know that the underground Pentagon's the other way, going down 116, I think it is.
Camp David?
Camp David's a different thing. Everybody knows about Camp David.
Okay. No.
As much as they try to tell you nobody knows about Camp David, everybody knows about Camp David.
Yeah. I only know about Site R because my dad, like back when he was in the military, would talk about it and be like, oh yeah, that's Site R up there, and you need like clearance to get in there. But it's basically just this huge underground military base.
Yeah, it's right next to High Rock, and if you go, the AT runs right next to Site R, so it's right there. But apparently, if you get too close, there's like armed guards that are keeping watch, making sure you don't go in. But
they'll mess you up. They'll tase you.
They'll get your ass. Toss you off the side of a mountain. They'll never find you. Just like the vanishings that happen on the AT.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably what it is. People getting too close. They just ignore the signs.
Exactly.
Do not enter. I think I'll enter. So yeah, as Taylor mentioned, sections of the trail pass, within a few hours of major military installations, or in this case of Site R, pretty close there, like in the backyard of it, which kind of just fuels speculations for is the government testing secret aircrafts, or the underground facilities in the mountains? What are they really hiding in those underground facilities? And of course, the government being so open about everything, just their hidden government projects, So we got some notable UFO hotspots that occur on the trail. Brown Mountain, North Carolina is a common one. Located near the trail in North Carolina, the Brown Mountain Lights have been reported for over a century. And then Taylor described that last week about floating orbs of light, sudden movement against the wind, and lights that seem to split or merge. Skeptics will say that it's natural gases or atmospheric effects, but we true believers know it's probably alien probing the shit out of people, doing all kinds of weird alien butt stuff. Other locations, Shenandoah Valley. Yeah, but the trail runs through Shenandoah National Park in Virginia, and hikers have reported triangle-shaped craft, silent low-flying lights, and beams scanning treetops. The valley's long sightlines make the sky anomalies easy to spot. And if you've ever been to Shenandoah, you do have some pretty crazy views, especially as you get to the top of the mountain. Mm-hmm. So it's not surprising that there would be more reports of things in the sky.
I would just like to add, in the Green Mountains of Vermont, the Appalachian Trail overlaps with the Long Trail. The specific area centered around Glastonbury Mountain is known as the Bennington Triangle. So what happens here, there's vanishings that between 1945 and 1950, 5 people vanished without a trace in this small area. The James Tedford case, he allegedly disappeared off of a moving bus as it traveled through the area, and his luggage was still in the rack, and a timetable sat on his empty seat. So he's just driving through, and it's just gone, without a trace. Paula Weldon in 1946 was a college student who went for a hike and simply never returned. Despite a massive search effort, not a single scrap of clothing or anything that she had was ever found. Locals have reported strange silent lights hovering over Glastonbury Mountain for decades. Some believe that the triangle isn't a place where people get lost, but where they are taken or slip through a time gap.
That's cool. Like the time gap thing is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's like the whole thing or the lore behind Fey realms.
Oh yeah,
where
you
you step inside of it, and for you, it's only been
a couple minutes,
or a couple of days.
But for everyone else, it's been a year.
Or in cases like a couple hundred years have passed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
that'd be wild.
That'd be fucking nuts.
That'd be how time travel exists. If time travel would exist in any sense, it would have to be something like that, I would assume.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you're stepping into like another dimension, I don't know. Is it like bending?
I don't want to do that. I don't want to go into a favor. I'm going to turn out in the year 2030 or 2320 or some shit like 300 years in the future.
Think of all the cool things that they'll probably have. I think the prediction is by 2100 they'll have the first, which I'm calling complete bullshit on this, but they're claiming that, I don't even know who they is, they just saw a thing on it, that AI will be so advanced by 100 years from now, we'll start seeing the first signs of imprinting yourself in like an AI model.
Oh my God.
So like your
consciousness will never die.
Yeah, basically your consciousness is being uploaded into
the world will end before that ever happens.
I'm sure. Yeah, we'll probably blow each other.
I'll come out at 2030, 2326, and the world will be gone. It'll be a nuclear holocaust. They'll be speaking a universal language that I don't know what it is. It'd be like a Mad Max situation where they're trading bottle caps as currency, and I'm like,
future nomads.
Yeah.
We eat bugs.
No, we don't. We eat McDonald's. What's a McDonald's?
Oh my God, no! It's like, oh yeah, well, Waffle House is still there. Yeah, who would have thought Waffle Houses? They really do stand the test of time. So, like you mentioned, like with the vanishings like that. Another huge driving force behind the alien theory on the Appalachian Trail are just the amount of people who go missing on the Appalachian Trail. I'm a little skeptical about this because I really do believe that most missing cases are people who were just hiking. They were amateurs. They didn't really know what they were taking on.
Didn't bring the proper gear, got turned around.
And they end up getting lost or whatever. And
it's easier to get lost than you'd think.
Tumble down the wrong, crevice, and
boy, if I had $1 for every time.
Oh yeah, at least 3 times a year. I have to come get airlifted out of there. But of course, there's author David Paulides has a series called Missing 411. He looks like Magnum PI.
I don't know if I ever watched it, but I feel like I've heard of it. The Miami Vice.
Yeah, the Miami Vice. It's but. He has the Missing 401 series is pretty trippy. He has one on like the national parks, and it's pretty crazy. Now, he did something to note. He never actually claims that aliens are responsible, but of course, online communities they kind of like come into play, and they're like, "Oh, actually, I think it is this because like the research shows." But vanishings are near granite fields. There's sudden weather shifts. Disorientation and experienced hikers are like another thing that they've found evidence for. Some conspiracy theories suggest interdimensional portals, underground alien bases, abductions disguised as wilderness accidents. That one I have seen a couple times.
Yeah.
Where
they'll say, "Oh, it was a bear attack."
Yeah,
but there was no blood, no signs of a struggle, anything like that.
They're just like gone or whatever. Yeah. And he kind of talks about that too with a lot of these cases. He's like, some of these people that have gone missing, they literally are professional hikers. They've been hiking for 20, 30 years.
Right.
And for them to just vanish with no trace, nothing at all. He's like I said, he doesn't claim that it's aliens, but he's like, but there's something, at play here.
Right.
And in the documentary too, if I remember correctly, he pulls up a map and there's like literally hot spots where it's like the majority of people kind of like disappear around this location here.
And then if you take this map and put it over this map, and you kind of see like a convergence, so that they are happening in the same areas.
Yeah, yep. And it's like all the
like a map of tunnels and other things like that.
He's like, look at what's like going on here. There's like tunnels here, and it's like, we should probably check it out because it was pretty informative.
We also have the White Mountains of New Hampshire, which is the site the Betty and Barney Hill encounter, the first widely publicized abduction in the U.S., took place. Through hikers in the Whites have reported being escorted by bright star-like lights that move in a zigzag pattern at speeds no drone or plane could manage. These lights have been known to track a hiker for hours, staying exactly 500 yards to their left or their right. So that's pretty cool.
That's trippy. I've heard that before, too. It's pretty
common. I don't know too much about the Betty and Barney Hill encounter, but for that to be the first widely publicized abduction in the U.S. to happen right near the AT, that's pretty wild. Sounds like that's going to be next week's episode.
I could have swore we did an episode on Betty and Barney Hill. Was really as much as we've
I don't think
about?
So.
Oh, we've done so many at this point. We're coming up on our 50th episode, so yeah, no, definitely. Oh yeah, you'll like that one. That one's pretty trippy. And of course, the biggest thing is there's no verified evidence linking aliens to these cases, but the mystery fuels the legend. We kind of talked about that last week, where you have hikers that will gather around the
hostels or the shelters.
The shelters and the campfires. And there's just something about the Appalachian Trail and a campfire where, there's urban legends and myths.
Like you want to tell a spooky story.
Exactly, yeah. So the legends, they keep in the myths. They keep coming and they never die, so to speak. Why do these stories continue to happen? These legends and these myths about UFOs and the speculation. Hikers love to sit around a campfire and tell stories. And I think that's why these legends, they just thought they don't die. And I don't think they ever will.
At least I hope not.
Yeah, for sure. Across all forums, trail logs, Reddit chains, things like that, you'll find all sorts of stories from hikers, a lot of first-hand accounts, so you have to take it with a grain of salt. But people reporting things like bright white or blue lights pacing hikers at night, a low hum has been reported before, but with no visible sources, campsites going unnaturally silent, hikers reporting dreams of being watched, and seeing figures that don't move quite right. Of course, there could be logical reasons for this. Sleep deprivation, isolation, and darkness can absolutely intensify perception. For anybody that's gone hiking out at, Appalachian Trail at night, your mind will start to see things that aren't there because our brains naturally do that. They try to make sense of things that we can't see.
Audio and visual matrixing.
Yeah, exactly. But that doesn't stop the stories from spreading. So then, which leads us to, the final notes on this: psychological versus paranormal. And of course, like we had mentioned before, the Appalachian, with it being so vast, it's a good opportunity for us to experience things like sensory deprivation. I think something about being isolated kind of creates this feeling and sensation of hyper-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And you've probably experienced this just sleeping in a location that's not familiar to you. Maybe the first time when you were a kid and you spent the night at your friend's house, it's a new environment, so you're kind of sleeping with one eye open. That's a pretty common.
It's like those memes where you're sleeping at grandma's house for the first time, and the grandfather clock's ticking, and you're under the blanket. And it's just very creepy.
It's just like an eerie. Your house, the first time I stayed, when we were kids, kind of gave me. Because I experienced sleep paralysis at your house, and I was like, whoa, this is freaking weird.
And you convinced me my house was haunted for a long time.
Yeah.
It still might be, to be honest.
Heightened fear responses and, of course, auditory distortions. Your brain fills gap, but when multiple hikers report similar phenomena for decades apart, that's where folklore is born, and we start to question, okay, maybe there is some validity.
Yeah, it's got a little extra truth behind it.
Yeah,
if multiple hikers are reporting the same thing.
Yep. So yeah, of course, and it doesn't just happen off of the Appalachian Trail. It's pretty common to hear stories about alien abductions, UFO sightings. Earlier, in our podcast series, we did an episode on the Travis Walton case, the fire in the sky.
Oh yeah,
the loggers that reported seeing a UFO, then of course Travis Walton actually being abducted by said aliens, and allegedly, so the stories are definitely out there, but I'm more curious to hear about some of the specifics that you found as far as paranormal weird stuff.
So pretty much what I looked into were alien adjacent stories and kind of some of the things that, as you were saying, the liminal space things. Of course, I also wanted to touch on one last thing before we wrap this series up, which is I guess more of a conspiracy theory of the government controlling all of it and hiding the truth from us. Oh. The first thing I kind of want to touch on is the mimics. So I know you talked about it in the first episode of the not deer.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what a mimic is. In the hiking community, these are often called flesh pedestrians, which I know Nick is a big fan of that term.
So
they are entities that seem to be trying to render a human or an animal form, but are getting the details slightly wrong. Voice mimicry is the most common report. A hiker will hear their trail partner calling for help from deep in the brush. They stop, listen, and realize their partner is actually walking 10 feet in front of them, and the voice they hear from the woods is a perfect recording. The same pitch, the same tone, but it repeats the same phrase over and over like a broken file. Some hikers have reported seeing a figure called the Uncanny Valley Hiker.
No, please God, no.
They reported seeing a figure sitting at a campfire or standing on a ridge wearing modern gear like a bright Osprey pack or a Patagonia jacket. When they get closer, they realize the gear looks like it's actually a part of the creature's skin.
Fuck.
Or the face is completely smooth without a nose or a mouth.
I got freaking goosebumps right now, just chills. Like, oh, no.
That would be by far worse than the mannequin house. That would be absolutely fucking terrifying.
I would be running back to the mannequin house.
Just to get some shelter.
Yeah, just like, and like the mannequins would walk up and like, what are you, wait, you want to be here? He's standing out there, but he's not human. Like,
jeez. I couldn't even imagine seeing something like that for real. That would fuck me up on such a psychological level. I don't know that I would ever recover from.
I think the scariest part about that is the fact that there's like a biological thing within us where the uncanny valley comes from.
Right.
So at some point in time in our distant past, the theory as to why we have this ability to kind of notice if like a human figure, like something is off. The eyes are a little too wide. The smile and the body movements aren't quite right. There's something that clicks in us that says, hey, I don't think that thing is human.
Right.
The scary part about the Uncanny Valley is if you look at it from a perspective of like evolutionary or evolution, why do we have that? At some point in time, we had to develop this.
What wrote that into our DNA?
Yeah, like what caused because we had to survive for some reason, and we have that. And typically, evolution, it will breed out the shit that it no longer needs, but it's going to keep the stuff that will sustain, life. Yeah. So in the distant past, like, was there something that like mimicked humans?
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah. Like, why do we still have that trait today?
Oh, I don't like that at all. But yeah, seeing the Uncanny Valley Hiker would do some psychological scarring.
Oh, fuck yeah. I'm jumping off that cliff. Like, that's a wrap.
Would you prefer the prolapsed anus or the Uncanny Valley Hiker?
I would take my chances with the Uncanny Valley Hiker.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I just don't want a prolapsed anus. I just don't want it. It's not. I don't. I
can't blame you on that one. I can't blame you on that one. The walking on two legs rule, which again Nick kind of talked about in the first episode, is a terrifying staple of Appalachian lore. That is seeing a deer or a bear that suddenly stands up on its hind legs and walks with a perfectly human, fluid motion. This is often seen as a mimic that hasn't fully committed to its human disguise yet. Sometimes you would see, if you're walking along the trail, you would look to your left or your right off of the path and see what you think is your hiking partner standing there waving at you, but you kind of know that it's not your partner. And like you were saying, the Uncanny Valley, where you kind of know that they're off, they maybe have too many joints, or they're too, like, their eyes don't blink, or they're not waving the right way. Yeah. And then you run into your actual partner a couple miles down the trail. Yeah. Like, you just know that wasn't that person standing. It's an exact copy of them. Not an exact copy, but a copy of them, trying to convince you to go into the woods and meet them.
It's enough for you to register that something's off.
Gives you chills. Gives you chills.
Uncanny Valley shit is terrifying.
We should do an episode on just
the Uncanny Valley. Yeah. I was actually looking at TikToks the other day about that.
Yeah.
It was, oh god, it's creepy as mess.
Some versions of this are also called the hide behinds, which is a commonly discussed phenomena in the Pennsylvania and Maryland sections, where we are. Fun stuff. The hide behind is an entity. Some say it's alien, some say it's spirits that are physically impossible to see. No matter how fast you turn around, it's always directly behind you. Hikers report hearing heavy breathing or the snap of a twig directly behind their head. If they spin around 360 degrees, the sound stays perfectly behind them. People who believe this is an alien phenomenon suggest it is using a form of active camouflage or light-bending technology that reacts to the human eye's movement. Fucking crazy, like the Predator, just out on the trail with you.
Yeah. That's... I'd still take my chances with that as opposed to the Uncanny Valley Hiker.
Yeah, I agree.
But not with the prolapsed anus.
So it's hide behind mannequin house, Uncanny Valley Hiker, prolapsed anus.
Yeah, that checks out. Like, yeah, I'm okay with that.
From scariest to least scary.
Oh yeah, prolapsed anus is definitely number one.
That's not specific to the trail. Anybody can have that.
No, you're right.
What if you got one on the trailer? That would really suck.
And then the only person that comes to help you is the Uncanny Valley Hiker. Oh, how can this get worse? Let me bring you to my shelter.
It's like a bear doctor walking fluidly towards you with the Uncanny Valley Hiker. What seems to be the problem here?
Yeah, and let's bring you to the shelter. They bring you back to the mannequin house.
Oh no!
Just keeps getting
the red
worse.
room is just an operation table to help your prolapsed anus.
Yep, I'm going to type that in the chat GPT and tell it to write me a short story based off of those parameters and see what comes up.
All right, moving on just a little bit. You have the Brown Mountain Craft. Modern hikers often report something around the Brown Mountains that we had talked about having the lights. Hikers at the Linville Gorge have reported seeing a large, silent, triangular craft that dips into the gorge and hovers over the river. Unlike the orbs, these have a physical structure and multiple white lights at the corners. Witness accounts often mention a low-frequency hum that vibrates in the hiker's chest, sometimes causing nausea or a metal taste in the mouth, a common sign of radiation or high-frequency exposure. So this is an actual spacecraft hikers have reported seeing, or a craft of some sort.
I like how with that story, or that report, that it's actually causing physical... I mean, I don't like that it's doing that, but I like
something's
how
physically affecting them.
Physically, yeah, and if multiple people are reporting it, maybe there is some credibility there.
Yeah.
That's true. It kind of goes in line with...
And what else is going to vibrate your chest and make you taste metal?
Maybe there's like a dildo or something that does it. I don't know.
Are you bringing a
I'm not.
metal-tasting dildo out onto the Appalachian Trail?
I certainly am not, but I cannot speak for all the other hikers that go out there and are gone for months at a time. You know, to each his own. But
true, for sure. I question why you're bringing a metal one out that's going to vibrate your chest, and then you're going to taste it.
Like I said, to each his own.
To each his own. Or her own.
Or, yeah, exactly.
The next thing is the missing time phenomenon. This is where hikers describe a sudden total silence. The birds stop singing, the wind dies down, and it feels like the forest is holding its breath. This is described as the Oz effect. A hiker may be looking at their watch at 4:15. They see a glint of light or hear a strange mechanical click in the woods. They continue walking, and the next time they check their watch, it's 7:30. They are exhausted, their feet are blistered, but they have no memory of the last 3 hours. In some accounts, hikers return from these missing time episodes to find their gear has been tampered with in ways they can't explain, like their socks being on the wrong feet, or their pack being packed away they could never have packed.
It's just pristine. It's just perfect.
Pristine, like
it's
perfect. Yeah.
It's like, wow.
I like how all they did was put your socks on the wrong feet. First of all, how would you notice that your socks are on the wrong feet? I don't know that I would tell if you just changed my socks right now and put them on the opposite foot. I don't know that I would know.
Maybe there's somebody out there that has to write left and right. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. It's just like, and that's how they
This
know.
is where the dildo comes in. They pack a dildo in there. What? How did this get in here?
Yeah, right. I didn't bring this.
It's like the Austin Powers. I swear it's not mine, man.
But I'll keep it.
Yeah. All right. I have a couple of firsthand accounts of the not thems and UFOs. The double at the shelter in Virginia. A thru hiker reported arriving at a shelter and seeing his hiking partner, who had left an hour earlier, sitting on a log, staring into the fire. He spoke to him, but the partner did not respond or blink. Feeling uneasy, the hiker kept walking. 2 miles later, he found his actual partner, who had never stopped at that shelter and had been ahead of him the entire day.
Yeah, it's creepy. I feel like there's worse things out there.
Could have just stood up, kicked you in the balls.
Yeah, that would suck.
A 2019 account describes a hiker near the Susquehanna River who saw a massive triangular craft hovering just above the tree line. It made a sound like tearing silk. What an interesting choice of...
to describe a situation, that's very specific.
and it emitted a beam of light that didn't illuminate the ground but seemed to absorb the darkness. The hiker reported that for a week afterward, his compass wouldn't point north and his digital watch ran backwards. So kind of like what you had mentioned a little while ago, that your gear gets fucked up in odd ways.
The electronics just stop. Yeah, they fritz out.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then you have, this was one of my favorite stories when I was looking into this research, the black-eyed children.
Nope. I'm just going to exit the room now.
Nick is walking away.
I've had enough.
So while black-eyed children are a global urban legend, they have a specific style on the Appalachian Trail. They are most commonly reported near road crossings where hikers go to hitchhike into town, or trailheads in Maryland and Pennsylvania, so of course also where we live. Usually a pair of children aged 10 to 14 dressed in oddly outdated or too clean of clothing will approach a hiker who is resting near a road. They often ask for a ride, a phone, or to be invited into your tent. The defining feature is that their eyes are solid black from lid to lid with no white or iris. Unlike a normal encounter with a lost child, hikers report an immediate, overwhelming sense of impending doom or biological wrongness. I'm going to use that as an insult one day. Like, brother, you have got some biological wrongness happening with you.
Walking around here with 2 fucking heads. 3-arm ass.
Looking like a Picasso. Your body's fight or flight response kicks in before you even notice their eyes. One story from the Delaware Water Gap tells of a hiker who let 2 children into his tent during a storm. He woke up an hour later to find them standing over him, whispering in a language that sounded like static. When he yelled, they vanished instantly. The next morning, he found all the birds in the surrounding trees dead on the ground.
I would never hike again.
Imagine this is back-to-back days. You run into the Uncanny hiker, and then the next day, it's these black-eyed children, and that's what happens to you. I would be
I would never hike again. I'd be checking myself into an insane
asylum. Sell every hiking thing that I've ever owned.
I would convert to every religion in the world.
You would never find me on a hiking trail ever again.
Oh my God. That is no siree, Bob. That is.
So unlike the snarly yowl or a mimic, which might stalk you from a distance, black-eyed children almost always initiate a direct verbal interaction. According to legend, they cannot enter your private space, your car, your tent, or your home unless you explicitly invite them in. They are famously pushy. They won't ask just once. They will use a monotone, repetitive script. It's cold out here. Let us in. We need to use your phone. Our parents are coming, etc. Often a hiker won't notice their eyes until after they've already started to say yes. People report a sudden jolt of realization that causes them to slam their car door shut or zip up their tent just in time. Witnesses also note that the children seem to be performing childhood rather than actually being children. They often wear clothes that look brand new but are 30 to 50 years old, or they're out of style. Some indicate, 1950s wool breeches or 1970s windbreakers with logos of teams that no longer exist.
Is that the Houston Oilers?
Are you wearing a Supersonics windbreaker right now? They haven't existed since the 80s, bro. Where the fuck did you get that? Give me that jacket. Just beat the shit out of this kid for his Supersonics jacket.
This shit's probably worth something.
Their voices are described as monotone or unnaturally deep for their size, lacking the typical inflections or emotion of a scared child. One famous account, not on the Appalachian Trail but often cited, involved a black-eyed child asking a woman for ketchup for his apple. It's these small nonsensical details that suggest they are entities mimicking human needs without actually understanding them.
Excuse me, can I have some sandpaper? I'm trying to wipe my ass.
Oh, sure, son. I've got some right here.
Wait a minute.
Another grit to fire, huh? It's the best way for a clean anus, I say. Use the sandpaper.
In my 55 years of existence,
not once have I ever had somebody ask me that question. Here I thought I was alone in this world.
I've been wiping my ass with 60 grit for over 55 years.
Never once did I have a prolapsed anus.
You, sir, are a man of class and dignity.
I got my prostate examined and the doctor owed me money. Oh, man. Those who claim to have countered the black-eyed children often report a string of devastating bad luck immediately following the event, such as car accidents, sudden illnesses, or equipment failure. Hikers report that the area where they saw the children feels poisoned afterwards. Animals were refused to go near that section of the trail, and even the air feels heavy and sour. Sightings are most frequent in the liminal spaces. As I mentioned, places like the Delaware Water Gap or the Wind Gap in Pennsylvania are notorious. These are spots where the trail crosses busy roads, and the children are often seen standing by the guardrails at dusk. There are some rare stories of hikers sitting on the porch of a trail hostel late at night and seeing two children standing at the edge of the light, just watching, waiting to be invited into the property. That would be spooky as shit.
Nope. I am good. I refuse. Will not partake.
So this legend actually kind of really started gaining steam in 1996. A journalist in Texas reported the first modern encounter in a parking lot. Since then, the story had spread like wildfire through the hiking and paranormal communities. Yeah. Appalachian Trail specific people believe that they are the moon-eyed people or ancient mountain spirits that have simply updated their costume to look more like modern children to better trick travelers.
That's cool. I mean, all right, that's cool. The moon-eyed people thing, that's pretty neat. Because that legend in itself is pretty interesting.
That's really kind of all I have on the black-eyed children. There are a couple of accounts that you can find on like log trail experiences, and then of course you can go on Reddit, subreddit Appalachian Trail and Paranormal. So I'll give you short little examples of some of the things people have experienced on the trail. We were near a desolate park at dusk. Out of the woods, 4 or 5 children emerged, aged 7 to 11. They weren't playing, they just stood and stared. They were carrying what looked like glow stick wands, but they weren't glowing right. The oldest boy in a gray hoodie approached my car. I asked if they were lost, but he did not respond. The kid raised his arm and pointed at us with a dead expression. We didn't wait to see their eyes, we just left. I didn't look back.
Nope.
And I don't blame you. I would have done the exact same thing.
Fuck out of there.
The next one, I saw a guy about 100 yards ahead of me with a giant external frame pack and 1970s gym shorts on. He saw me, turned, and walked off the trail into a thin stand of pines. When I got to where he was, I looked into the woods. The trees were so thin you could see for half a mile. He was gone. There was nowhere for him to hide and no tracks in the pine needles. Seems like most accounts seem to happen between 9 o'clock and 2 in the morning, once most of the hikers are done for the night.
Yeah.
Witching hour stuff.
Yeah. Long day of hiking, exhaustion. No, it makes sense.
And I guess the last thing that we will touch on before we wrap up this Appalachian Trail stuff is the government containment theory. The most extreme version of the story suggests the National Park Service is fully aware of underground residents, quote-unquote underground residents. So like you were saying, like the feral people and stuff like that aren't truly feral but have just lived off the grid. The revenue argument is that theorists argue that if the public knew that there were predatory humanoids in the woods, tourism would collapse. Thus, disappearances are often categorized as lost and perished from exposure, even when no body is found.
I mean, that makes sense. I wouldn't. I mean, then again, I don't put anything past the government at this point. So, yeah, for sure. I could entertain that.
The government containment theory is the ultimate rabbit hole of Appalachian Trail lore, which it sure enough is. I can agree with that. It suggests that the National Park Service and the military aren't just managing land, they're actively managing a quote-unquote problem that the public isn't allowed to know about. This theory generally breaks down into 3 levels of containment. So the first one starts with the Dennis Martin Green Beret incident from 1969. When 6-year-old Dennis Martin vanished in the Great Smoky Mountains, the response was unprecedented. Within days, the Green Berets arrived, and they didn't just help search, they reportedly pushed aside local rescue teams and took control of specific areas of the park. Conspiracy theorists claim that the Green Berets weren't looking for a boy, but they were there to contain a feral colony that had kidnapped him. Some suggest the military cleansed the area of these entities to prevent further public panic, while keeping the details classified to protect the park's reputation and its massive tourism revenue.
Yeah, I kind of want to look into that now. Yeah, all jokes aside, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
As far as, conspiracy theories go.
I didn't look too deep into that one, but I feel like there's actual multiple reports of the Green Berets showing up.
Yeah.
So it can be credited, a little more likely.
Yeah.
The national park as a fence theory is a theory that posits the national parks weren't created to preserve nature, but to quarantine it. Proponents note that many disappearances happen near the boundaries of the parks. They believe the government uses the National Park Service as a buffer zone between civilization and the things that live deep in the wilderness, such as feral humans, cryptids, or other entities. Of course, West Virginia is home to the National Radio Quiet Zone. Good old West Virginia, popping up.
Mm-hmm.
So the National Radio Quiet Zone is near the AT, and officially for radio telescopes, theorists claim that this quote-unquote dead zone for cell signals and electronics allows the military to move and contain things or hide underground bases without being tracked by civilian technology or GPSs.
Interesting. If you ever get a chance, there's a movie called The Gorge on Apple TV.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like that. There's this dead zone out in the wilderness, and it's this hot spot. There's these cryptid feral things that they're trying to keep from crawling out of this gorge.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, they almost look like it was like a biological bomb thing that went off, and it integrated with their cells and stuff, and they became they look like Draugr almost.
Okay.
So they have this whole freaking ridge, this gorge, just lined with turrets.
Ooh.
And it's they bring one person from the Eastern European and from the West, so an American and a European,
mm-hmm.
Snipers, and they're just picking off
these
things and
that sounds
fighting.
Cool.
It's pretty, it was a cool concept.
Subterranean bases and secret installations. The Appalachian Mountains are made of ancient limestone, which is naturally riddled with caves. The theory suggests the government has expanded these into deep underground military bases. In Mount Weather, Virginia, there is a real high-security facility near the Appalachian Trail. While it's officially a FEMA Emergency Operations Center, its proximity to high disappearance areas of the trail has led to rumors that it serves as a central hub for monitoring mountain anomalies. Like we alluded to earlier, you may have seen the viral map overlaying cave systems with missing person cases.
Yeah.
The containment theory suggests the National Park Service knows exactly where these dwellers live and has essentially walled off certain cave entrances or designated them as protected habitat to keep hikers from wandering into a literal nest. According to those who believe in the containment theory, the system leaves clues. The quote-unquote system. The bear excuse. If a hiker vanishes and the NPS blames a bear despite finding no blood, no struggle, and no clothing, theorists call this a boilerplate explanation to close the file quickly. If a section of the AT is suddenly closed for maintenance or wildlife protection with no clear reason, locals often whisper that a containment team is working in the area. And you have unmarked helicopters. Hikers in the Smokies and Shenandoahs frequently report black, unmarked helicopters flying low in the hollers where no official search is supposedly taking place. When you look at the specific cases that fuel the government containment and national park underground theories, you find a pattern of disappearances where people didn't just get lost, they seem to vanish while surrounded by others.
This is just making me want to dive deeper into the AT lore and the conspiracy theories themselves. It's pretty trippy.
Yeah, and there's so much more that you really could dive into. There's specific cases. I'm not going to get too into the weeds on those since we're already running pretty long on this episode. We could easily do a part 4 or part 5.
Yeah.
But so there's an instance in the Great Smoky Mountains where Trenny Gibson was hiking in a line of students in the Forney Ridge Trail near the Appalachian Trail. She rounded a bend just a few yards ahead of her classmates. When the others rounded that same bend seconds later, she was gone. Search dogs followed her scent to the edge of a road and then nothing. Despite 40 witnesses and an immediate search, no trace of her clothing or gear was ever found. Theorists point to the fact that the official files on the case are notoriously thin, with some claiming the FBI took over the investigation only to let it go cold immediately.
Yeah. Oh, man, that gives me goosebumps, dude.
Yeah, there's more of these just random disappearances. It's honestly unsettling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the amount of cases that are actually, have been reported with just going cold like that it is very unsettling.
Yeah, and there's plenty of, if you just want to do your own research on this, Just look up Appalachian Trail vanishings, and you will
down that rabbit hole.
You will find a rabbit hole the likes of which you have never seen before. There's also theorists have thoughts about non-traditional the stay out signs.
Sure.
And the non-standard no entry signs. Most park signs are the brown wood with the routed white or yellow letters.
Yep.
And theorists will tell hikers to look out for signs that break the mold. So if you have an aluminum plate, which is a temporary looking aluminum or plastic sign that say things like area closed for resource management or restoration in progress. Some believe resource management is a euphemism for entity management. If a section is closed with these cheap, high-visibility signs, it suggests a sudden event like a sighting or a disappearance, a shadows or a sightings, rather than a planned project. There's also, in recent years, specifically just last year and now this year, QR code snitch signs. New signs have appeared asking visitors to report negative information or unusual sightings, while officially for reporting maintenance or historical inaccuracies. Theorists claim the QR codes are used to track hotspots of paranormal or feral activity reported by the public.
Oh, that's kind of cool to kind of keep tabs on.
Yeah. Now that sounds like a fucking
that's some government shit. That's some government shit.
Hey, if you see anything out here that you shouldn't see, the trail marker down, a branch across, just scan the QR code.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know what you find.
Definitely, if you definitely see the Uncanny Valley Hiker, though, don't scan it. Don't wink. Don't scan it.
It's like, why do you have a third eye? Oh, this thing?
No, I don't.
No.
Why haven't you blinked? It's been 15 minutes you've been standing here.
Yeah, do you want some Visine or something? Jesus.
What's a Visine?
What is that? Can I eat it?
Mimic! On the Appalachian Trail, the path is usually marked in white. Side trails are blue, but there is a third, less discussed color, yellow. The official use of yellow blazes mark the boundary of the trail corridor, where federal land ends and private land begins. Some hikers have reported finding double yellow blazes in deep woods where no private property should exist. Legend says these mark containment grids and zones where the military or National Park Service has established a perimeter around known subterranean entrance or hotspots. The official symbol of the National Scenic Trails is a triangle with a smaller triangle inside. Every few miles you'll find metal survey markers or boundary monuments set in the ground. Theorists claim that in high disappearance areas, like the Smokies or the Bennington Triangle, these markers are placed much closer together than usual. They suggest these aren't just for land surveys, but act as anchors for electronic monitoring systems or sensors designed to track movement in the deep brush. Man, these conspiracy theorists, they think of everything.
Yeah.
They really get they get into the woods, as it were.
I think that might be a good episode to explore a little bit deeper some of these conspiracy theories.
There's so many.
Yeah.
There's so many. I have more, but yeah, I think we could save that for
that'd be a whole
an episode in itself of just these conspiracies of what happens out on the trail with a lot of these markers. Like we said, man, this Appalachian Trail stuff, we could talk about it. We could have a whole podcast series about just the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah.
Like it would never end. We'd be at part 25 and still had just scratched the surface.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's a good place to leave it for now. So, Nick, any closing thoughts on this Appalachian Trail saga that we've been on?
Fucking black-eyed children. Fucking
Uncanny Valley. Fucking Mannequin House.
After talking about those two, I think I'm cool with the mannequins. I think we'd get along. I think we'd be friends.
But waking up with black-eyed children standing over you, chanting and static.
You got me fucking dead. Like, oh no.
When I read that, that gave me chills.
You reading it to me gave me chills. Like, oh my gosh, this is.
You wake up and all the birds are dead. Like, nope.
I would never hike again.
Give me a copter out of here. Give me the chopper.
Something.
I'm going home right now.
Yeah, like, oh my gosh, you could imagine just having your tent completely zipped up, locked. Maybe you're one of those people that puts a padlock on your tent.
Okay.
And somehow they still manage.
They're not allowed in if you do all that. If you tell them no and you don't let them in, you're good. But this person apparently didn't realize that they were black-eyed children. And just let them in, and
then he fell asleep, and that's what he woke up to. Oh my god! Nope.
I'd be so betrayed.
Yeah.
Like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
That's when you start popping caps.
Yeah, right? Just
Doesn't do anything because they vanished as soon as he screamed.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to get back out on the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah, right. I can't wait to hike again.
I'm juiced up. I want to see some shit.
Yeah.
Kind of, a little bit.
Yeah. Not really.
Not that stuff. not the really weird stuff, but
No, but it was fun. It was a fun deep dive over this last 3-part episode, and I'm sure we'll revisit it again.
Oh yeah,
because it's such a huge thing,
such a vast topic.
Yeah.
Man. Like we said at the top of the show, thank you guys for listening to this episode of Shadows and Sightings. Follow us on social media, Shadows and Sightings, a paranormal podcast on Facebook, Shadows and Sightings Pod on Instagram, and shadowsandsightings@gmail.com. If you want to send us an email, let us know about your experiences out on the Appalachian Trail. If you had any cryptid run-ins, any black-eyed children run-ins, any Uncanny Valley Hiker run-ins, anything like that, any spooky stories you might have, or any personal tales you want to share with us that we can feature on our episodes, we'd love to hear from you guys. Love to hear any feedback. So with that being said, we'll see you guys next week when we talk about all things spooky.